Hello, welcome to PUTINWORKTV. We've enjoyed watching your journey and your we've enjoyed watching your journey and growth as an artist slash creator in the new English scene, and really want to hear more about your story. Our focus is allowing our guests to share their story front and center without judgment or opinion. So let's get right into it. What's your name? And
My name is Isaac motherfucking Groove, aka the bad guy, aka Mr. Fucking Plot. You can find me anywhere you listen to music on. Everybody loves the bad guy out now. Motherfucking Plot more for life. It's time to get my fucking Put in Work TV interview done, man. I'm ready for this shit.
feel me? I
Let's
love
get
the
it.
energy. I love the
Live this
energy,
right now.
bro. So number one, how did it all begin?
Shit, what do you mean?
So I can say, how did it all begin? Your interest in music. How did Isaac Groovy, the artist, the personality,
I was gonna say,
the
man, 'cause
creator?
I was about to say, like, well, first, my teacher told me it was the Big Bang, but I'm happy you specified. So let's see. I mean, I don't know, man. So personally, like, I've always just had this connection with music, like, my entire life since I was a kid, cause like my mom would always be blasting music. I'm Dominican, so there's just always music being played everywhere, in the car, at home, at parties, anywhere. You know what I mean? So I just I grew to just love music very early on in my life. And then when I was like 8 years old, I always heard melodies in my head and shit. When I was eight, I started listening to just a bunch of songs and kind of like thinking of like certain words. And then by the time I was like 9 or 11, around there, like I just started rapping over every song that I heard, like walking to and from school and shit. So the whole rapping thing has always just been there, like my entire life. As far as like recording and getting into all that, I started recording when I was like 16 in Miami in my homie's garage because he had a recording set up in there that his dad was a drummer and shit. So we used to go in there after school, and I've been writing forever. I've been writing since I was like 11 years old type shit. So I never stopped. So I would go to his crib, just pull up with raps and just go on whatever. And then when I came back up here, when I came back up to the North Shore around like 2016, I already knew what I wanted to do. I already knew. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like, I'm gonna be an artist, and I know exactly what I want to do with it. So I just kind of graduated, and then after I graduated, me and the homies, Tweak, Mags, Ruckus, Germ, Zach, Plotmore, we just started really. That's when we really linked up, started working together. And at first, I forget what my first rap name was, but I really can't remember what the fuck it was. I'm sure Tweak or Mags fucking knows it, but the whole Isaac Groove thing, I used to spend like every day in John Glass's studio, like just on the couch, high as shit, listening to sessions, whatever, watching him record, watching him make beats, just all kinds of shit. But I'd always be at John's spot. And there was one day where he had a session with Lateb and Oblivious when they were working on their Woke album. And there's this one beat on there that's fucking crazy, right? So me, Mags, and Tommy were on the couch, and we just like fuck it, let's practice. So we wrote, some practice verses and shit like that, and we showed each other it, and Mag showed us his, Tweak showed us his verse, and then it came to me. I showed them my verse, and they just kind of they hit me with the stank face, and they were just looking at me, and like they're Italian, you feel me? Like they're like two Italian white boys, but the coolest fucking people of all time, right? And they just look at me, they're just like, bruh, how the fuck do you do that shit every fucking time? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what?
You think they talking shit, but they're really congratulating you.
No, I know. This is how we talk to each other. It's not even no, bro. Like, I kind of wish that they were here because, like, bro, if you guys saw our relationship as far as like the whole squad, like, bro, we fuck with each other like in an annoying amount. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty much like those are my brothers, man. That's my family. You know what I mean? So we just be fucking with each other, but. Literally, they're just like, bro, how the fuck do you do that shit every time? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, yo, it's just, your shit's groovy every fucking time, bro. It's just like, you're just a groovy motherfucker. And then after that, I think it was literally like the next day, I was just like, man, fuck it. I'm Isaac Groove. Straight up. You know what I mean? Because, like, my real name's Isaac. That's just, like, what it is. And then Groovy is what the homies started calling me. So I never liked the whole moniker thing, like fake name thing. I thought that shit was weird because you're like playing a character. So I just took my real name and what the homies call me and put it together.
I think that's beautiful, bro. Like you got it from an organic place, and it was because your shit was groovy to other people, where you actually, you know, put it inside, like
It's like
Isaac
plus
Groove.
Isaac Groove.
Right. So that's who he is. Like.
Pretty easy. You feel me?
So what was it like growing up where you're from, and where are you from?
So I'm originally born in Hialeah, Miami, Florida, 305 Dade County till I fucking die. But then my mom, when I was like 5 years old, my sister was 14. She was about to start high school. I was about to start like actual school. So my mom was a single parent, and she just kind of wanted better for us. You know what I mean? She didn't want us to be, the typical fucking stories of Dade County, because like all the girls are popping up pregnant and all the guys are just getting arrested. You feel me? So I had family who lived up here, up in the North Shore in Danvers. So my mom hit them up and was like, "Yo, I need to bring them somewhere else. Like this isn't gonna work. Honestly, I can't do it here." So she brought us up here when I was like 5, and then I spent like 10 years up here. You feel me? Like a lot of the ties and people that I know, like my best friends, like plot more. I met them like in Danvers and shit. You feel me? But like Danvers is weird though because I'm Dominican, dog, and the thing is that like there, if you're not white, it's weird. It's weird, bro. They treat you a certain way and they're nice, but they're like there's something else. You feel me? So like that's why like the people I fuck with, cause like they are genuinely just different. You know what I mean? So, and also when I went down to Miami, when I moved back down there when I was like 12 or 13, it was a little difficult at first because it was like that situation where like I was too ethnic for the white kids, but then I was too white for the ethnic kids, just because like I the curriculum up here is way ahead of the curriculum down there, so I was just smarter than them, and like my vocabulary was better. You know what I mean? Just because of like the curriculum and things that I was taught in this area. Massachusetts is I think like top 5 or maybe number 1 in education. I'm not really too sure. I know it's up there in education though. So, I mean, the environment was pretty. It was a little difficult at first in both places. You know what I mean? Just because I kind of had to like, I kind of had to like figure out like, all right, who am I gonna be? Like who? It's not who these people think I am. You feel me? It's who the fuck am I? So I mean, the environments are cool. Don't get me wrong. Like there was definitely people in the North Shore in that area and shit that like took me in and loved me like their own for real, for real. Like there's a lot of caring people in the North Shore. They don't really give a fuck about what you got. They just care about who you are. You know what I mean? So, but in Miami also, like, I tell people this all the time. Miami is what gave me my hustle and my drive, and then the North Shore is what gave me my morals and my conscience. Because
I think that's a very important distinction because I just thought about every family member I had in Florida.
Yeah.
And all the people in Massachusetts, and that made perfect sense. Continue.
Yeah, nah, bro, for real though, because in Florida, like, it's a red state, and I'm not a political person, all right? Like, I don't give a fuck whatever. If you're watching, I don't give two shits what your political fucking party, who it is. I think they're both fucking retarded, honestly. But my whole thing is that in Florida, they're a red state. There's a lot of things that we have up here that they don't have down there. For example, yeah, people bitch about taxes up here, but you know what? We have a really nice, clean state. We have very good subway systems that take you from fucking anywhere you need to be in the state. You feel me? Our school curriculums are amazing. Even the worst ones here are better than the fucking best ones down there. People don't know that shit. So there's a lot of give and take. My high school up here, or the schools I went to up here, had smart boards in every single room. And there were some schools that the students got MacBooks and shit. You know what I mean? And I know that it's not every school district in Massachusetts, but in Florida, bro, the first school I went to had a fucking fence wrapped in barbed wire around the entire perimeter. No windows whatsoever. They had a detention center in the basement of the school for indoor suspension. And on the 3rd day, somebody tried to sell me a strap. And it was the white boy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just like one of those things where, like, bro, I don't really give a fuck because I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why I understand why people are like that down there and why they're like so kind of cutthroat about getting money and surviving and doing all these things because it's also expensive as shit down there. And the minimum wage I think is still like 7 something or 8 something. It's a fucking laughable amount to what it is here. You know what I mean?
So how does music alter Isaac Groovy's life?
I mean, it definitely changed my life in the sense where like I feel like the same thing that I kind of did for myself in the sense where like music allowed me just to just be who I am and express the things that like I like and feel and just I want to be able to I want everybody to feel like that essentially. So music has changed my life in the sense where like bro like it's altered everything for me. It's altered my perception of reality. It's altered my perception of like friendship. It's altered my perception of even just like business. It's changed everything. You know what I mean? Because I'm not afraid to say it, bro. Like I don't want to do shit when I only want to do the shit that I want to do. You know what I mean? So like that's why I love being an artist because at its core that's what it is. You just do the shit that you want to fucking do. I make the shit that I want to make. I design the merch that I want to design. You feel me? I work with the people who I want to work with. I make my fucking choices and nobody can tell me shit. You know what I mean? And I own it. And so that's what music's given to me. And I just think that it's one of those things that like there's so much room for everybody to where like you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a rapper, you can be an engineer, you can be a fucking beat maker, you can I just found out what a tracking engineer was. You can do that shit, you can just record motherfuckers, you know what I mean, if you want to mix, but there's room in this shit for everybody to just do what you want to do. You don't have to go to work at 8 a.m. You feel me? Like you don't have to fucking bow down to somebody because of your paycheck. Music's changed that for me. I don't really give two shits about what people say or think or how the fuck they feel about it or me anymore. Just because, like, bro, at the end of the day, I got this thing that lets me literally do what I want.
And I think that's so much power in that, bro, because you've taken control of your own life. So how have you translated that to music? What does your discography look like?
Let's see. So,
What can I expect from Isaac Groove when I'm looking for vibes? When I'm looking
well,
for
let's see. Everybody loves the fucking bad guy. My first project. That shit is out now, and I am extremely proud of it because, yo, that was something that like my first project. Look, I came into the game with like learning from John Glass and shit. All right, so like my expectation level was set very high, very early. So I started dropping singles and shit like around 2017, 2018, you know what I mean? I dropped a few singles. I dropped singles for like a year or something like that also around like when the pandemic happened, I think. Um but then so my discography like I had like 10 singles or something like that out before I dropped my project. And then I was on the phone one night with Peasy with Alex Place, and we were talking about it. And I was like, I was at a point where I was really trying to figure out like, do I want to keep dropping singles or do I want to be a project artist? I always wanted to be a project artist because my thing with music nowadays is that I just don't think it hits the same because artists don't take the time to really curate and create something that's like, you know, of them and like different. You know what I mean? So we were talking, and I was like, "Yo, Peasy, I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro. Like, I don't know if I want to do singles or a project." And he was like, "All right, well, send me some stuff." So I sent him some stuff, and he was like, "Yo, you got this like bad guy energy throughout, you know, a lot of these songs and shit, but they're hype, and there's like a lovable aspect to them." He was like, "You should make a project out of it." And before we had this conversation, I had shot the music video for my song "On the Rise," and he told me he's like, "You should do something with the Joker aesthetic." He told me that like a month after I shot this video, which I already did that exactly what he was telling me. And then he was like, "You should do something kind of like Everybody Loves the Bad Guy."
blew your mind?
Blew my fucking shit, dude. Cause I didn't think of it like that. You know what I mean? And I love movies. So what I did was I took like 5 or 6 of my favorite movies.
And you put them as intros?
No.
Oh.
I watched them all on mute and I curated my own soundtrack.
Wow.
So like I literally watched The Dark Knight. I can't even tell you how many times, like the entire trilogy. I watched that entire Christopher Nolan trilogy like on mute several times. I watched Cowboy Bebop fucked up on mushrooms. I watched American Psycho. I was watching American Gangster, Superfly. Like I was watching like all these movies on mute though, and Casino and shit like that because I wanted my project to be eclectic. I didn't want it to be one sound. So I watched these movies and I scored the movies to my liking.
So you emulated the bad guy from the inspiration you got from watching these movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I think that's different. I have never heard of a technique like that. Like, you know how actors have to get in shape for movies, or they have to get into a certain mindset, or you know how Heath Ledger died being the Joker.
Exactly.
You have to be really passionate to take yourself to the edge to have an edge.
Yeah.
And so, what do you try to give your audience with your music? And along with that, what is your process of creating?
What I'm trying to give people with my music is just that good shit again, man. Like, I really think that, like, the music that sticks out to me that I really like, dude, is, like, the shit from when I was, like, maybe, like, 8 to, like, fucking 16 or something like that. So, let's say, like, 2005 to, like, 2012, 13, maybe 14 or some shit like that. But it's because, yo, there was hits. There was real hits. Not like any of this TikTok bullshit. Not none of this Ice Spice bullshit. Not none of this fucking people just redubbing, literally just redubbing songs with a faster hi-hat. Like, it wasn't that. It was real hits. You had 50 dropping Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I mean? Or the fucking Valentine's Day Massacre. Like, bro, Many Men, you know what I mean? Like, fucking Candy Shop, PIMP, a fucking Best Friend.
High all the time.
Yo, high all, but this is what I'm saying, though. Like, there was hits. There was distinctive hits. Producers had a sound. There was Scott Storch. You know what I mean? There was Timbo. And then there was Missy. You feel me? Like, there was M. There was people who, like, yes, sonically their music was crazy, but visually it was amazing also. Music videos had more thought. So like that's kind of what I'm trying to bring back almost. Is just like I don't give a fuck about what it is that's like really popping and cool right now, because let's be real, man, like most of these motherfuckers gonna be gone. I don't care what anyone says. Like most of these people are gonna be gone. If like all these drill rappers, bro, like that shit's not gonna last. There's only gonna be a few that really stick, and the ones that have stuck are probably gonna be the only ones that stick. So like I just really want to bring back that like originality. Like bro, I think when you hear my music, you know that it's me.
That right there, I haven't heard that from anybody else either. It's like people are finally starting to see that music has decreased. Like there was a quote I heard. It said, "Music describes the state of affairs of the world." Like the music that's out now shows where people are in their minds. And so when you see the level, when you see the level of music decrease, and how, you know, a lot of people will go to one song from TikTok or Instagram and it already has 1.2 million views. But these are just people going off the hype of somebody or a meme. A meme is like a biblical scripture nowadays. So I love definitely. I can't even say shit. But that's a fact. But I think you're very right about, you know, people need to have more respect for music, but they can't if they're just results into the regular bullshit just to get plays. But
bro, it's just really fucking annoying when you see people doing the same shit, man. Like I gotta say, I see this Key poster. Shout out Key, bro. That Berserk track is fucking fire, and I just really like what she's doing, like visually with her aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like she's one of like, and I say that because she's the one that kind of like recently that really like pops out to me as far as visually. You know what I mean? That's another thing that I think people just be fucking slacking on. Like
the visuals are very, very important.
Well, I mean, and not just music videos, bro. I'm talking about like how you look, bro. Like I think that like for me personally, I look up to a lot of rock stars. You feel me? Like I look up to a lot of like what the fuck is it? Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
From The Doors. You know what I mean? I look up to like Dolly. I look up to like Freddie Mercury, David Bowie.
Oh yeah,
Poison,
yeah. I think you got some culture to you. But I really want to ask you, what is your process of creating, and what you learn the most from that process?
My process of creating is like, I don't know, man. it's kind of different. For me, I'm very emotionally like kind of driven. So like if I don't feel like it, dude, I'm gonna be real with you. I'll go like a month without recording just because I don't fucking feel like it. But I try to keep myself writing at least every day so that I can just, keep the wheels turning. But as far as whenever I'm recording or some shit, man, so all right, I'm gonna give y'all the Isaac Groove studio recording fucking method, right? Because this is what I do every time I go up to like nowhere with John or like SK, right? So I'll usually pull up in something comfortable, unlike today, because on my camera I had to look fresh as shit.
Feel me?
But I'll usually pull up in something comfortable, maybe some sweats, a sweatshirt, usually from the Witch Doctor because they're the most comfortable, and probably have slides on. I'm walking into Studio A. First thing I do is take my shoes off. So off rip, no shoes during this entire session. I got that from John Glass. John Glass taught me no shoes during the session. It just works better. It's the flow thing. And then I usually will smoke a blunt. I'll sit down, roll a blunt, smoke, talk a little bit of shit with John, kind of catch up. And then usually before I get there, so I have that little Wayne clip from Believe Me stuck in my head all the time where it's like, clips, ammo. I ain't pull up unless I got a subject, a predicate, a producer, all that shit. So like I always keep that shit in mind. So usually when I go to the studio, I already know like, all right, I have this song written to this beat. I have this song written to this beat. I'll know which songs I'm going in there to do that day already, and I'll have them already written. So that kind of takes a lot of the stress out of it for me because I already know what I'm going there to do. You feel me? Like I like to be a lot more thought out and meticulous than I've kind of realized other people are. Just because it helps me work. I'm a little bit militant because I come from a military family, so I like to have things kind of like lined up and just like done a certain way. So, but I'll smoke. Once me and John are done talking or whatever, I'm probably turning off the lights, throwing on some fucking colored lights, probably putting on a Batman movie or like, I really like gangster movies, so like Scarface or something like that, or Project X. I like that movie a lot. I'll usually throw on a movie, probably like a Martin Scorsese movie too, like The Departed or some shit.
Great movies, by the way.
Bro, I'm a movie freak. I love Quentin Tarantino. Stanley Kubrick, that's a fucking favorite of mine. Clockwork Orange is one of the movies I'll definitely throw on if it's like on Netflix or some shit. But I'll usually throw on a movie, turn the lights off, put on some colored light, get in the booth, and just start doing my thing. Usually I keep a blunt rolled up with me in the booth, just because I always looked up to Lil Wayne, so I gotta do that. I usually keep a blunt with me in the booth and like just rap, bro. That's kind of just my thing.
And so, what'd you learn from the process? What do you learn about Isaac Groove when he's recording or when he's making music?
I learned that is when I feel like that's when I learned that like I feel like I can really just manifest the things that I ever wanted out of my life, because every time after I leave that booth and I do something with those songs, it brings me to a place in my life where I've always wanted to be at. So what I learned during those sessions and during that process and like all that is just that there really is power in investing in yourself. Because if I didn't do that and go through that process, then like, and it's a crazy process because I'm over here smoking weed, watching movies, just recording with the homie. You know what I mean? But like, there's a lot of people who like can't do that. I'm learning that. I'm learning a lot now. You know what I mean? Because for the longest time, I was just kind of like cooped up in my own little bubble with like John and all of them. So their work ethic is the work ethic that I assumed everybody had, and it's not. And I'm learning that now.
Most definitely. So, what would you tell someone who's looking to start their careers and get to where you're at? Just simply being comfortable as artists, dropping music, staying consistent.
Man, hold on 1 second. Let me get comfortable for this one, cause all right. So, you want to be a rapper, right? Let me tell you, this shit is expensive as fuck, as fuck. And if you are independent and not willing to spend your own money and not fucking pay your electric bill or your Wi-Fi or your fucking phone bill or your fucking car bill, your insurance, if you're not willing to literally give up the things that you need to like run your fucking daily life to be comfortable, don't do this shit. It's not for you. It's not for you. And like, I really want to make this known and more. It's just that like, not everybody has to be the artist. Not everyone has to be the fucking rapper. Like we need more people to be like Rob. You know what I mean? And just take the executive position so that like more artists can just be artists. Because me personally, like I got to where I'm at now because I just realized that like a lot of these motherfuckers are lazy, bro, and they don't really understand what it takes to like be successful in the music business. And I'm gonna say this again, right? They don't understand what it means to be successful in the music business, bro. And like I had to learn it too. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that you just know. You have to really fucking learn it. But like, yo, it's a really, really hard to be an independent artist and like, you know, have to take care of not only creating your designs, your music, your writing songs. Like it's not only, you don't only have to worry about creating, you have to also worry about like all the back end shit, like making sure that like your songs are up on BMI and Song Trust, and you got your sound exchange and shit in order. You know what I mean? And that fucking you got your DistroKid like running smooth, and you keep up with those payments. You know what I mean? You have to do targeted ads and shit when you put your music out for promotion. Because that's another thing that I don't understand is people really drop shit and just be like, oh, I'm lit in my city, I'm lit in my school, I'll fucking, I'll pop off. Bro, fuck off. I hate you. I hate you. If you do that, I fucking hate you, bro. You don't get it. You don't fucking get it.
It's a business. It's a business.
It's a business, bro. Like, and what business survives by just creating a product and letting it sit there?
Yeah.
That shit don't work. It's an anomaly, bro. It's a fucking anomaly. So, like, I got to where I'm at now, one, because of the people around me. That's number one, the people around me. Like, I did not get here because of just me, bro. I got here because I had the John Glasses. I had the SKs. I had the Young Ruckuses, the Tweaks, the Mags, the fucking Germs. Like, I had the heroes. You know what I mean? Like, the bars over bars. Like, I had the people around me who not only believed in me, sometimes more than I really believed in myself, bro. Like, they were there really pushing me and helping me make certain connections that allowed me to get to where I'm at now. And, like, I had to learn from, honestly, in my opinion, some of the best in the fucking game, how to properly carry myself as an artist. Because a lot of these people don't know how to fucking carry themselves. And they will never get to where they need to be because of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that I was able to have these people teach me these things, because it's allowed me to kind of, you know, learn and focus about my marketing and really hone in on my fucking merch, you know what I mean? And like designing with this shit. My homie Worthy is helping me make a new line of merch, you know what I mean? Because he's an amazing designer, and that's going to be a whole nother thing that's going to be crazy, you know what I mean? But that's not something that I would be able to do by myself. That's something that I was able to do because of the relationship I have with the witch doctor. You know what I mean?
Isaac, I think you said so many things. I think you've really put it on the table. Like, you've shown art. You're telling artists that there's so many different components. There's so many key parts that come together as one.
All fucking day, bro. There's a lot.
And I think this is exactly the type of passion they need to be hearing from somebody who's in the game, who's learned, who's had good people around them, so that they can avoid mistakes. You know, they say that people are smart when they learn from their own mistakes, but they say you're even more intelligent when you learn from others' mistakes. And that leads me to my next question, bro. Because you've gone through this process, because you've conducted yourself in a way that was worthy of respect. You had people start to listen to your music, most definitely. And I think that you've definitely been able to enlighten somebody who wasn't knowledgeable of the ins and outs of the music business, as you highlighted. What do you see yourself becoming? What does Isaac Groovy do in 5 years? If you could just paint a picture for us. And where do you see the New England scene going in 5 years? What happens in New England? So those are my last two questions for you, and I really want you to just, paint that picture.
All right, so 5 years. I don't want to say too much because a lot of y'all be fighting shit.
Mm.
So, and that's a fact. I don't give a fuck how you feel. That's just true. But in 5 years, I can tell you one thing. My mentality right now, and given everything that I've learned over the past year or so, I'm coming for all of it. Bro, I'm on the ass. I'm letting everyone know right now. I can't tell you exactly where I'm going to be in 5 years. And I honestly don't want to say what all my plans are. I mean, I plan on working with bars over bars. But just because, what they're doing is I plan on working with bars over bars more. So I think that that's going to be something that in 5 years is going to take over New England because they're focused on New England as a whole. They don't care about just one area or zip code or city. They want to see all New England creatives and artists be pushed forward. So I think Bars Over Bars is going to be a force in 5 years. I think that Nowhere Studios, where I record at in 5 years, is going to be like the studio in the state and probably going to be like one of the craziest locations in history. I also think that in 5 years, if I keep going the way that I'm going, and this is strictly just from like an observational standpoint, because I try to really step out of myself and just kind of like look at myself in third person sometimes. And I gotta say, bro, I'm very fucking impressed with myself lately. I really am, bro. I have accomplished shit this year, and I can have shit. I have shit in my house right now that like I dreamt about when I was 5 years old. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me, bro. I literally have a fucking big ass poster in my bedroom for my first headline show in fucking Portland, Maine, dude. I don't give two shits.
Wow.
And I did that now. I did that shit now. Bro, in 5 years, I'm fucking all y'all up. I promise you. Like, in 5 years, I'm coming for fucking all of it. Whether y'all want to give it to me or not, I'm taking it. And it's strictly because I know one thing, and that's I'll fucking outwork every single person who tries to outdo me. And if y'all try to doubt me, that's even fucking worse. I'm stubborn. So in 5 years, I think that I'm probably gonna be like a fucking force. And Plotmore, same. Because if we're doing what we're doing now, and this is just the beginning, God fucking help y'all, bro, for real. Because I'm on your ass. And I'm not stopping.
Isaac Groovy, man. Isaac Groovy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to Put in Work TV and spending your time with us today, sharing a great story. I think you were in a great interview. You gave free game.
Quick, I'm sorry. Put in Work TV is probably going to be one of the biggest platforms out there because this man Rob is just going crazy. And Steph is out here fucking killing it too. Yeah.
Shout out Put in Work TV. Shout out Isaac Groovy. We came together and created a banger, man.
It's a lot of fun, man.
I don't think anybody got as much game from Isaac Groovy than today, man. So thank you for your time, bro. If you got any last words.
Everybody Loves the Bad Guy, out now on all fucking music platforms. Go check that shit out. And one more fucking thing. Plot!